favor right.
This jump is so laggy, I swear to God.
No! Guys, I have word of an announcement. We have to go to game number 6. I'm sorry to leave you hanging, but we need to see how this ends. I'll tell you about this after. Casters, take it away.
What do you guys know that we don't? I mean, what are they hiding? I know it's you.
I don't know anything, guys. Can we get the game done so we can get to the announcement? I mean, I want to know what he had to say.
All right, look, we know exactly what these players are hoping for, but it's time. Game 6, because we need to figure out what Zeke's going to say after.
This is it, the last game of the day. Luckily for everybody at home and watching live in person, we still got 2 more days of action, but our top 25. That is what we'll be looking at when the day is said and done. They will advance to our championship Sunday. Our bottom 25 on that leaderboard plays again tomorrow in the lower bracket.
Put emphasis on the top 25 here, Jacob, because it sounds so easy on paper, and yet when it comes time to actually break through and ensure that you don't fall down to that lower bracket relegation era, teams still struggling to try and make the difference here. Blixie, Champ, ultimate scramble. Romero tries to make it to the chest break, but Blixie, he's just getting tagged up along the way. And Leiva and Romero have finally found so much success at the starting point of New Sanctuary.
Blixie and Chap have struggled to find solid ground and these young guns won't make it any easier for them. Back to the drawing board it is.
Yeah, with the standings this close, when it comes to trying to get in on top 25, every little mistake goes under a microscope, and you really got to review it before tomorrow. Going into the action, Tino Pablo not really making a move. Kanata, Victor, Feet standing their ground. Mini Pio and Fuku,
There's a game going.
there as well. Triple contested Sandy, and none of these guys want to back off of that POI, but this time around, we got something interesting right out of the gates. Instead of landing over towards Wonky Land, where Shark and Tini would certainly run them down, they take a different approach to their final moment.
And this is Clicks and Higgs prioritizing success over pride. They've lost the off-spawn, but that doesn't matter. Poyo and Peterbot, they're trying to regain their pride after the misfortunes of last game, doing what they do best, rolling a team over without any consideration whatsoever. For these NA Central teams, it's just about making things stick and giving themselves the momentum going into Championship Sunday.
Well, one problem has definitely been building all day today for Pixie and Swizzy, and it's largely just the fact that they haven't yet had that standout game. Everything has just been somewhere in the middle, and sure, it's built them up 82 points, but when you are this close in the leaderboard for that top 25 placement, they can't afford any other slip-ups. This has to be a flawless matchup.
You see Aegis and Ritual in the feed. They actually got the eliminations onto Reet and Cooper, but just like games prior, we were wondering why are so many people at Sandy Strip? I'm wondering why are so many people at Latte Landing? I was thinking for a moment, Aegis and Rituals, they finally got a chance to play off spawn, but Yapto, Panzer, they're here as well. Jonas, the Falaj, they're here as well. They're not making this easy on anyone.
I have seen way too many times, Jacob, Latte Landing devolve into madness just like this on EU and on NA. When you have 2 teams fighting off spawn all day long, teams start to get opportunistic, especially in this final game where every point matters.
And even worse still, if you are in Aegis and Ritual position, because compared to Veloz and Jonas, as well as Yapko and Panzer, those are teams that are already relatively established for that top 25 metric. It's really just about Richie and Aegis trying to find some solid footing, because they cannot afford another early departure, or else they will be playing in tomorrow's games.
Just one of those moments to where as time keeps dwindling down, honestly, we're probably going to feel it in the pace of this game with each and every passing zone. Those opportunities go out the window. Even though you still got tomorrow, that doesn't make it any easier. You almost take a hit on your confidence, so you want to qualify here, even if it last game of the day. We've seen it before, and I'm sure we'll see it again.
The fighting continues. No team wants to walk away from this one. So much invested already. If you can't find the opening, eventually you will be forced to walk away just to keep yourself in the game. But both of these teams playing for keeps. Hands up, Yapko, it's been a great day for them. They're just shutting their stuff now, trying to exert themselves in the lobby. Or will they get the response they're looking for?
If anything, Jonas, Veloz throwing out a couple of Hail Mary efforts there to see if they could just isolate, take out Panzer. If they get one, it's not super likely that Yapko is going to immediately send himself forward. He might actually opt to back out.
And this is the part on these fights where things get really awkward. The Storm starts to apply a bit of extra pressure. Lurk plays come through, and all of a sudden you're jumping up on height, trying to find the shot, trying to find the angle, and they will! Jonas goes down, and Panzer not working with much by way of HP. Yapko neither. They do have the upper hand for just a moment.
They just have to be very, very careful. Because remember, this was 3 teams here at one point or another. Agers and Ritual. They used these 2 guys as fighting, as a way for them to disengage towards the outside. The higher you build up, the more opportunity you're giving them. But you can see Panzer, Yapko, they can no longer keep the pressure in this 2v1 situation. You said it yourself, there's a huge lack of that HP. He passes on over the goal. They're hoping there is going to be enough, but instead of buying a medkit, he just quickly buys the patch up. They want to get right back to putting down pressure because they know Jonas is down. The siphon was imminent, and it finally comes into play.
For Veloz, this is a almost worst case scenario even, because 102 points, you're not exactly safe. You're just on the threshold, and you can't afford the teeter-totter any further in the negative direction. He will be forced to retreat. Vico Malabuca, though, they have had quite the day for themselves, and they are not looking to bring it back anytime soon, because Shark Teeny now looking to challenge these big boys, but Vico seemingly trading out the shots, and that's going to force Shark to wait for Teeny to take over.
This is 2 of Europe's best. And I spoke to Vico in between the last game, and he said, Levin, man, we're chilling. We're just trying to have fun with it in these last couple games. And if their version of fun is ruining Shark and Teeny's end to the day, then I think they are achieving just that. Teeny will wait patiently. They are on home soil, but that doesn't mean that they have the advantage. And Pete from Teeny doesn't provide much by way of success, and so he eventually will fall at the hands of Pete from Malabuca.
Yeah, and I think Shark sensed that one come in. He immediately disengaged towards the south side of Wonky Land, giving them a chance to at least get rebooted up. You see no HP. I wonder what he's going to do.
Well, the main reason behind that, I'm just thinking back to what took place between these EU teams in our actual FNCS. Vico was being called the fake demon for the longest time, and sure, it's not going to exactly throw Shark and Teeny into the lower bracket, but it still places one of the scores on their day.
Demons home.
I have no
We know
place.
there is bad blood between those 2 duos. But for now, the stakes not as high. Both teams still looking comfortable as far as the matches. These guys aren't as comfortable though. They're the main characters we're looking at as far as making this final game count. And even though they are deep here in the storm, they are not alone.
There you go.
Not alone at all. Acorn and Bolts at the top of that mountain. It looked like for a moment they were looking in that direction, so I don't think Clicks and Higgs went under the radar in the same fashion that they did, but did you see their loadout? I think the decision to leave Wonky Land in Game 6 works out. They were able to fish a Midas Flopper, which grants you instant a gold loadout, and they were able to find 2 different gold shotguns, so already being able to pack a punch in this game. If they could just make it towards the south, because you see Sandy Strip just outside of the zone, they could give themselves a real fighting chance to get into that top 25.
They're not the only ones on the hunt for it. When you talk about big performances that need to take place in this final matchup, Alex and Reckless certainly fit the bill here. Only 20 points have been gathered in these first 5 lobbies, so waiting to see whether or not they're actually going to be able to find that monumental come-up. It is a very tough uphill battle.
I think one of the themes we see with some of these smaller region teams at times is ultimately they're just not used to having players in the lobby who are willing to fight back, right? When you're the big fish in a small pond, it's easy to exert your dominance. Well, all of a sudden when you've got people who have been doing it at the highest level on this type of stage for years, ready to give you a challenge, it changes the dynamic completely. And so that is a lesson that they'll have to take into day 2 if they are in that lower bracket.
One thing I do think about, though, some of these teams haunted by just not really having a drop spot to call home from the starting day. And Pollo, Peterbot, everyone was wondering, they're going to be at Swiftly, but who else is going to be joining them? And yet, no one else has really seemed interested. Darn Deemish, they're willing to take a fight, though.
We've seen these two teams face off against each other in many of these games, and in quite a few of them, it's resulted in both teams backing off. Will this be the game where they actually go blow for blow and look to close things out? Too much respect on both sides, it felt like. But in game 6, there's no respect. Peterbot, we know he likes to exert dominance on any players that land near him. But Dom and Deemish, they are no pushovers. They are two of the best fighters when they want to be. And they are the leaders of the day. And you have to treat them with such respect.
Hey, we could be foreshadowing something here because we know what Peterbot and Pollo love to do if they have a chance at first and they're just outside of scope. Darm, Deemish, even though it's probably them approaching closer and closer to Peterbot and Pollo, this is something we could definitely see as the tournament continues on as Vico takes out 51. Cole, big shot from above, drops into the box, cleans that one up easy. Madden's able to put down a little bit of damage, but now Malabuka is interrupting this fight, not letting him feel free or loose, pushing him back, and is really trying to not let him heal up. That pressure means so much.
But Malabuka can only do so much. He doesn't have any builds to work with. Everything belongs to Vico. Can he make it to his duo to split the difference? That is still left to be given, but Madden is actually just trying to look for the full-on disengage. He was hoping that he could look for a runaway, but he's just not going to get the chance. It's bad news bears all around. And Clicks and Higgs, they might find themselves in a very similar outcome if they're not careful.
Yep, but they're finally starting to pull things together from the top side of that map. Not even an actual POI, which we thought they would land it all weekend long. They rotate all the way to the east and are finally starting to make their way in. They run into Falaz, they run into Jonas. They get both of those eliminations. I'm sure they're feeling great.
Remember earlier when I said at a certain point you just got to rip up the game plan? It feels like Clicks and Higgs are doing just that. They're just anywhere right now, and we're seeing them make the plays needed to deliver on the points. They are so close to being able to push themselves into that top 25.
Gino and Pablo are also looking for that last-ditch effort, though, to try and avoid that lower bracket 6 series games, because you think this is volatile. Just imagine what takes place, what ensues when teams understand that their opportunity to participate in the Summit Finals might be lost outright. That's where we really start to see a lot of chaos unfold.
Yeah, you see there for a moment that leaderboard popped up. 3 different teams as this game is going on at 82 points apiece. You're seeing a couple eliminations go down, but eye-dropping Mares on 78 points. Again, just outside of the bubble. This point threshold as of now is so stacked. One mistake can cost you a trip to Championship Sunday and send you straight to the lower bracket instead. And I think eye-drop and Marius kind of know it. That's why you're seeing them and a few other teams staying inside of the zone towards those vending machines so they don't have to go through all the chaos.
Cold and Rapid. This is quite the sight for these two, clearly having fun with it.
They're on that Vico and Malabuka tech right now, but they're taking it a step further.
No game, Mini Miner.
I like it. I like it. Cold is just having fun, man. He's just doing his thing. Just show up, show out. And Cold probably tried to talk Rapid into it. He was like, yo, come on, let's have some fun. He said, nah, that's all you. Triple T, that's all you. I'll stay far away. And you think Rapid's leading him in this game? No, he's just trying to run away from him.
Yeah, Rapid doesn't want to be seen with this guy right now, and I can't blame him. But Clicks, Higgs, we know that they're probably feeling a little bit better about some of the success from the wraparound through painted palms, but these guys gotta be nervous, and that's gonna make the party even worse still. Clicks and Higgs, they're in 29th spot right now on that leaderboard, and Higgs is not gonna have the chance to look back and try to pick up Clicks along the way. He has to just keep going.
Another game, another opportunity for Higgs to make it happen for his team as a solo, and this is the one that he's gonna have to do. You saw there, Muzz and Sphinx, some of their biggest competition for top 25 right now, have fallen. And so again, the people in front of them, fall by the wayside. It has to be a big game from Higgs here.
You saw 4 different teams at one point on 86 points. Cold running through the bottom, takes out Shark. There's a real beast in the ocean this weekend, and Cold is looking to be that guy.
Hey, he's nice with it. Probably the best thing I can say.
If I told you that's like the best fragger of all time, you'd look at me and say, nah, surely not, man. This guy ain't taking it seriously. But that is what Cold does. Sky and Scroll, they're still taking things seriously, it feels like. And we know what that means for the rest of the lobby. Their consistency this season has been relentless. And in a game where many teams are struggling to find footing, they are not going to give any room, any space for anyone to have a big game if they can have a say about it. Way above on Surge. The material's looking fresh. This is looking like a classic Sky and Straw game right now.
And that pan over, couldn't help but notice where some of these teams that are looking to try and cement themselves for Sunday's finals are actually situated compared to the rest of the lobby. Reason and Noah Riley trying to see if they can take advantage of some of these teams rotating a little bit after the fact. But Alex, he's not going to get the chance to even make it off the landing point, just completely beamed out of the skies here. Very likely that the international competition is going to be reviewing some of these games here tonight, guys, and just looking back and thinking, how do we take it to the next level for tomorrow?
It's going to be really going to have to dig deep. You see Higgs by himself, really trying to clutch up. We saw how many players and teams were tied in that position, and he gets taken down by Controller. Clix and Higgs will officially play in the lower bracket tomorrow.
And I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but for Clix especially, all I can do is think back right now to 2023, and it's hard to not let history repeat itself sometimes.
Doesn't have the best history when it comes to lower brackets. And so we'll see if he's learned from the 2023 rules. Marius, an eye drop. Shino, up alone. It's not been the best day from EU's second place team. And we might just have to see them perform again on this stage tomorrow to make up for it.
This is that point in the game, 7th zone. Whether you're barely inside of that bubble or outside altogether, you're really going to be tested. Everything you know about Fortnite, both in the physical gameplay and the mental capacity, is really going to be pushed to the limit. And that's where you see iDrop, Marius, 86 points just outside of that bubble, trying to find a sweet spot inside of the zone. They're 128 below the damage threshold. The silver lining is only 2 players need to go down before it deactivates, and there's one.
Feels like the bubble's burst though, Jacob. I mean, all the teams above them on the bubble, all the teams below them falling. And so it's really setting up to be a game for them, but Swizzy in the feed goes down, and so Pixie down as well. I mean, tomorrow's lower bracket is looking stacked right now, Taco.
I mean, you can see the frustration in Pixie's player cam. The expectations would have never left you in this kind of situation, but Reason, he's not worried about what everyone else is going through right now. He's only focused on what's in front of him. That first one has already been successfully completed, and now he just needs more.
This is a man who has no intention whatsoever of playing in that lower bracket. He wants to get the job done tonight.
Peterbot and Poyo finally on the high ground. They've been through so many trials and tribulations throughout day number 1, but have yet to pick up that victory royale. They have 7 eliminations. This is the big stage. Can they do it? iDrop and Marius are surely trying to pull themselves within that bubble. Another elimination, 96 points, but they're taking shots from all around. Drop down to 26 HP. They're even separated for this last couple of seconds. Can they find a way back? No, they can't. Marius goes down.
But in the final hour, it's still iDrop left standing. You have to remember, he's been doubted all year long so far. Can he finally pull things through? iDrop, Cold, so often the baggage next to Medius, and now he has a shot to redemption here. Looking to find an elimination. If he can get the refresh, it would certainly continue this journey forward, but he's forced to drop all the way to Logra, and he can't make it back up. iDrop and Medius are out.
That's a big moment right there for everybody else at the bottom side of the leaderboard. Voco being one of them. It seems like everybody that needs an opportunity here find themselves as a solo. And for Voco, 112 points. He's inside of where he needs to be, but with no builds left, he has to wait for somebody to make a mistake, maybe jump on top. For Kido and Werix, this is a big moment. They need a couple more points to find themselves safe. They find at least one elimination there, but they need the placement. That's worth just so much more.
Just knowing that so many top dogs, though, are the main ones left standing. You've got both ends of the spectrum currently competing against each other. Peterbot's going to take out Kanata, though. That's just one less opponent that a duo like Werix and Kiduo have to worry about. Cammy, Hadi now losing all of their shields. Peterbot's tracking as strong as ever, but now circling back down. Kiduo and Werix, they've drawn so much attention to themselves with the Flowberry Mist Grenade.
Time is running out for this duo. They need to make a play and fast. You cannot just sit in your box when you have no materials. There are opportunities for them to find the refresh they need, but they have to get creative now.
Yeah, Lewa, Romero trying to do just that, using the overdrive shockwave simply for the effect. They drop down towards the front side of zone, but they're a layer above a whole nother duo that they have to watch out for as Werix clears elimination, scrambles for the loot, but he gets taken down going for it. Cammy gets another elimination. Inside of the top 6 we go.
Scroll, Sky, waiting to see who's going to step up to the plate. It might actually be exactly what BOT needed, just trying to see if he can continue carrying things through. He needs to see if they can survive.
One of the few healthy duos left in this one. Romero now will try his best to continue this elimination spree going. Cammy and Hari, they have something to say about Sky and Stroll's low ground dominance. And you have to remember, with all this happening, Pete and Poyo still waiting in the wings above to try and squeeze.
Yo, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Who?
Cammy and Hari shutting them out. But how will they get back up the hill? Cammy with 6 limbs, out of character for him, not out of character for Scroll to get bigger limbs though. Takes Peterbot down. Cammy gets knocked, he can't get back up. And so it's up to Scroll to do what Sky did earlier.
I was gonna say it's our top 3 teams remaining, but everybody's stuck as solos, and it comes down to a 1v1. Hari here in this situation against Poyo. Remember, neither one of these teams have gotten the big win that they're known for, and Poyo with no builds, forced to drop down below, trying to fire back onto Hari, who has the high ground. Good damage being landed, but Hari's just landing so much more pressure, trying to force Poyo outside of the zone, but there's a couple of seconds left before that play comes to fruition. Chug going to be used for Poyo, giving himself just a little bit more time, but the zone is pulling up and over the hill. For Hari, he has a huge advantage in terms of positioning. The zone is just eating Poyo alive, one tick after the next. He finally makes his way in, but it doesn't last long. Hari and Cammy clutch out game 6.
There are only so many options left there for Poyo. Even with that 20 left in the Chug, it simply wasn't going to be enough. The repositioning from Hardy to remain on high ground was ultimately what sealed the deal for their fates here today. So Frankie, let's hear it from them.
Thank you so much. Stand up, please, boys. You just got a victory royale. Harry, talk to me about that endgame. Playing it as a solo, you played it perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, I just solo clutched well, and that's it.
Cammy, I feel like we saw you clutching it out during the major finals, but now you're seeing your teammate Hari do it on LAN. What were you thinking when you were watching him clutch?
I was sure that he was going to win because he was on the high and they got mats, and the guy didn't have anything, so it was a free win.
And when Hari is doing his thing on his own, are you talking him through it?
Yeah, I'm always trying to help him, and yeah.
Well, you guys are definitely qualified for Championship Sunday. It's a position you know very well, Cammy. Congratulations to the 2 of you. Dusseldorf, please give it up for Cammy and Hari! We're going to head to the desk.
Wow. Takada, we've seen it all from Cammy and Hari, right? We talked earlier. Wait a minute there, we're seeing them on height. That's crazy. Wait a minute, we got a VR in game number 6 out of them now.
I'm seeing them extremely confident. Remember, they were going against Peterbot and Poyo in those final moments. That's also where they landed at the start of the match. Both duos around Squibbly, and they ended as well in that clash, but Cammy, Hari were the ones that came out on top. Now, both teams there, I believe they did have enough points to make it into that top 25, so we'll have to see if that clash continues on Sunday.
Yeah, it's what you expect. It's Cammy, it's LAN, it's what he does. I mean, the sky's the LAN go. You can see just from his gameplay, you just know with Cammy as well that he's got some things cooking up for the grand finals. Nice to see these guys picking up a win as well. They're a team that you don't necessarily associate with huge, massive elimination wins. But this one, what's that? 8, 9 eliminations. Really, really nice from them. And ultimately, it was, of course, the zone that ended up taking down Poyo at the end. But they did enough. And for them, it's just about getting across the line into the finals.
And what I love about this is look at the players they took out. They took out Poyo. They took out some of the top of the top. A quick look at the leaderboard now. Number 1 is still going to be Themish and Darm. Zeke, what are you seeing?
Tokata, I'm seeing this top 5 looks a little heavy in one of the regions, and it's not NA. Yep. My heart breaks though because production's pushing me through this top 25 to see which duos did not make it. Here we go. Marius, iDrop just pushed out 106 points, and it was a tie as well of all things. But it looks like Darkos, Minori will make it through. But so many other duos are now thinking, Mini Miner, well, I have to take it to lower bracket. I will have 6 games. Stress all-time high, 25 duos. Am I going to the same spot? Is someone now contesting me? So many questions in the back of their minds.
Look at this page.
Yeah.
That page just gets worse. The Swizzy, Pixie, Clicks. There's so many big names that you wouldn't look out of place in the top 10. Haven't qualified through to Casa.
Look, what I have on my mind right now, in terms of Clicks Higgs, I'm looking at the lower bracket. The team at Wonky, it's King and Phaser from Brazil representing Argentina. Then we also have Dark Dominion, where Swizzy is dropping its Aviv and Cam. So we've got these lower bracket duos that are now looking at what their competition is going to be going into tomorrow. And all they got to do tonight is that homework.
Oh man, it's scary stuff. There's other things obviously that did happen in that game. You know, Peterbot Poyo, we saw some moves, right? These guys were looking to make some things happen up on that high ground. Peterbot finally saying, all right, I guess I'll try going into this last game, you know?
Yeah, this is a team that we have to keep our eyes on for the grand finals. They're a team that we haven't seen enough of today, I feel like. You know, we've seen some good glimpses of gameplay. We've seen some good glimpses of what we may have associated with Peterbot and Poyo of the past. This one is probably a prime example of that, dominating the game, pressing all the players and the teams all the way down on low ground, doing what Peterbot does best. That elimination right there, just textbook Peterbot. And they're a team that I still think has a lot in the locker as well. You know, ultimately for them it was about getting... They don't have, of course, now Clicks going to be contesting them off spawn. They don't know how they don't sort of have that confusion going into the day. Where's Clicks going to be landing down?
Para pintar toda la casa. Sí, porque aquí ya estamos.
But they've done it.
What's on my mind are those expectations I was talking about at the start of the day. I mean, expectations only last for so long, and if they're not matching how they performed in 2025 and 2024, the expectations won't stay there forever. Now, this is an upper bracket. They made it through. Yep. They did what they had to do. Sunday is where it truly matters, and I think we saw a bit of a spark of what that might look like.
Crazy stuff. Well, Fortnite fam, I know what you've been waiting for. All right, I got it right here. Ooh, don't even worry about it. All right, let's talk about 2026 for a quick moment. We actually put together a little graphic here to kind of help explain it, but just stick with me, okay? There's many things to discuss. First, let's start with September 26th and 27th is the new date of the Global Championship. That's right. And I'm honestly very happy and honored to announce we're going to Antwerp, Belgium for the Global Championship. In addition, Major 2 has some changes. You can kind of see here on your screen, July 18th through August 2nd for Major number 2. Major number 3 is now the last chance, which is happening August 3rd to 14th. And then you probably, I don't know, you saw something on the right side there. It says FMCS Solo. Yeah, we're going to do something in October. Stay tuned for that. More to come, more to follow. Don't even worry about it. There's also a blog that we're about to launch right now. So go in, check that. There's a couple extra little things there, like power rankings and some ranked updates. But if you want to know more, that is where you want to go. And of course, tickets, pre-registration, live right now. Antwerp, Belgium. Fortnite fan, get ready. We about to have some chocolate and waffles. Mini Miner, Tokata. How do you feel about that information?
Wow, hyped, I think, really. You know, the Global Championships, Antwerp, Belgium. I've never been, so I'm excited to, you know, see what that's going to be like. You know, FMCS Solo. That is the thing that I'm looking at. I'm like, well, hang on, Solo?
I figured you would have, I figured that's where you guys would go.
Yeah. I mean, Solos are great, Takata, because you get to see a lot of talent coming through that you don't necessarily get to see in the duos and trios format. There's no teams to rely on. There's no teammates to carry you. It's just you. So Solos, wow.
I mean, some of the most iconic names in Fortnite competitive have come from solo events. Booga, Tayson. I mean, there's so many big names, and I'm trying to think, when's the last time we had a solo event, you know, at an FNCS level? So this is something I am very excited to see. And also now with this new generation of players, I mean, we got players like Shark, 14 years old, leading the pack on EU almost. I mean, there's so many big things to come.
Well, Fortnite fam, we hope y'all have been really excited about that information. You probably have questions. That's okay. Again, go check out the blog. It's going to have a ton of information for y'all to break down, to pick apart, and look into. And over the weekend, we'll be reminding you this because it's pretty big news. Obviously, this does start to wrap up day number 1, the upper bracket mini minor. Let's start with you. You know, how did this meet your expectations? Did it exceed? What are your kind of thoughts? I mean, it's a lot to process with finding out this other stuff.
Oh yeah, we have a competition we play today.
Right.
No, it was, I mean, what a day of competition it was. I think coming from EU this season, there've been a lot of surprises and a lot of just shock moments. And I think today has kind of replicated that in so many ways. We've seen teams that we expected to do well, not finding themselves in that top 25. Teams that some people have tipped to win the entire weekend, now having to play in the lower bracket took so many people, and myself included, by surprise. And even some of the smaller teams as well, rising up through. Players you don't expect to do so well, players that are playing their first LAN, shining through. Looking at you, Curve there. Wow, what a day it's been.
I mean, I'm thinking of our global champion from 2025, the only remaining global champion playing here today, which is Swizzy, alongside Pixie, unable to make it. Clicks, Higgs. I mean, we are going to have some interesting off-spawn engagements. Swizzy, Pixie land at Dark Dominion, and that's where Aviv and Cam have marked right now in the lower bracket. Clicks, Higgs. They've been landing wonky. They said squibbly, but they were going wonky. And that's where King and Phaser from Brazil are landing. So this is definitely going to get heated tomorrow.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, again, it's tough, but it's okay. We still have one day, 6 games in that lower bracket. But for those 25 duos heading down there, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board, just like we will, right? There's much to look at over tonight. But for now, we say goodbye. Until tomorrow at the lower bracket, Fortnite fam, we love you. Keep yourself safe. See you on that battle bus.